what I want to show you guys really fast is that one, you had the blueprint, right? Price came into that level this morning, or late this morning into the 55.75. If you use that level, not only that, but I did send out the alert as well for you guys. And if you took advantage of this level, it worked really well. As a reminder, in the SPX room, if you go into the room here and go to your notes section, all right, we did this yesterday. I went over this to make sure you guys were ready and prepared for today. But it's really easy, I think, to lose concentration, even though you think you may be prepared, because the market's going down. And if some of you guys are in multiple rooms, it's really easy for you to lose sight. And that's why I said it was really, in my opinion, you set these trades up before price gets there. Okay. So when we come into today on the morning trend, you come down to Wednesday, okay, and you have your chart, this beautiful chart right here. It was there before the market opened and before price got there. So you already have the plan, and I go over how you do that specifically in the video that I gave you guys yesterday, okay? Price did get there, all right? And then what we did here in this window, okay, the 55.75 call, 13 March was executed at 32.5 as planned, okay? So $32.50. And this might make you think about this in the future. They are now going for 60, okay? Here's the SPX trade right here. This trade I took at 32.50. I closed for profits. Of course, it's always easy to go back and go, shit, I should have held longer. It's all good. Don't care. Um, but remember, this is your setup. It should be ready and ready to go. Listen, whether this trade worked, which it did, or if it didn't work, it doesn't matter. We've already assessed how much we're going to lose. Okay? Please take that into consideration. You already know how much you can lose. Don't be afraid to take the trade. It's just a trade, folks. It's just a trade setup. Okay? What I did, just to kind of go over the plan, is not only did I get long and make some money here, I also got long the futures. And we pegged that pretty much at the bottom, if you will. Pretty cool. Okay. Back to the trendy window. How could you use this? Price came down into the 55.75 level right here. Okay, sorry, not the 55.75, the 55.50 level. And then if you executed, what I did was I pushed the trendy window over 3 times in here, and I'm using it almost like a scalp. And what's really, really neat about this is that your trendy edges only come in daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. However, on the trendy window, which is a huge bonus if you ask me, is that you can come right here once you install it and click on the settings, okay? And you have all these options. Now you have yearly, quarterly, options expiration, 4 hour, 15-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute, 2-minute, whatever you want. And the idea is if you learn and understand how to trade the system, well, now you get it. You could be looking at your smaller zones, 30-minute, 1 hour, and the 2 hour here is what I have demonstrated. And you can see that you could be going long the SPX on a reclaim of the zone, and you can trim out at these red, green, and then finally the red zone. That's again just on an hourly. This down here is a 30-minute, so it's going to be a little bit quicker in and out type trade. And this is a little bit longer. So on the 2 hour, and again, guys, you can do these whatever time frame you want to do. But for example, the 2 hour setup about right here, You can trim here, and it's sitting at the next trim there, and the final target would be here. Okay, it's pretty neat. The next thing you could do is when you want to go back and kind of back test these during the day. For example, this was the entry criteria for today's option. And if you look, almost all of these went bid, and that makes sense, up and over the green zone at around the same time that we went long on the call. Okay. So a lot of times jumping into these, we do an OCO order, like I showed you yesterday, on a stop, target, whatever, take profit. But you could, if you have a little bit more patience and you don't get out too quickly, you could just be watching this and trying to trim, um, at these levels. Or you can simply also just come up here and try to trim as we're moving up to levels that are on your chart. Some people just prefer radars, but what I really like about the trendy window is now we can drop the time frames to multiple time frames that you haven't used before. And I would say we could use them as targets and entry points on a more of a scalp type position. And also, if you wanted to use like a quarterly or something like that, you could do that because now you have those levels. All right. And again, play around with it, see what you like. I think they're really cool. True story here. I had the trendy window, and I used to have the smaller trendy time frames up here on the chart years and years and years ago. This is nothing new to me. As always, it's something that I've had in the background that I kind of just lost sight on and was like, well, you know what? We can really introduce this because I like the idea, of having a trendy window in case you're on a time frame where you're not seeing the trendy edges. So for example, I don't know if you guys all know this, but when you come up here into your time frame right here, all right, if you don't have 30 days loaded, you're not going to see certain edges. But with the trendy window, we don't have that criteria. So down here, I could still be looking at a weekly edge, even though I might be only looking at a 5 minute and 1 day. Does that make sense, everybody? Because you're only looking back 1 day, the trendy weekly edges need more information to show you where they are on the screen. But down here, you do not need that. And that's why a long time ago I built that one for that reason. Okay. And that's it. So, okay, you guys don't have sound in the room here. So what I'm going to do is just send out, Mirza, if you want to let them know, I'll just send out the recorded version of this, which I just did. So you guys are lucky.